One of the great days on the southern racing calendar, depending how far south you want to go, is Champions Day at Wingatui. Of course, the track where the mighty Bone Crusher once went there and produced one of the fairy tale stories of New Zealand racing. No Bone Crushers tomorrow, but Jason Tan and I still have some winners for you. And I tell you what, one of the besties of the day might be in the first on the card. Jay Tan, as we come to you, this market just released. It's a maiden race, and you've gone Just Push Play. More Jewels is actually a horse who's in the Guineas as well. I thought that if More Jewels turned up in this race, it might be a chance at big odds, but like a lot of the markets, even for the day.
Oh, definitely. If it gets a start, you'd be wanting to back it each way. The market says 11 to win, and for that reason, I was quite happy to go each way on Just Push Play. Into $9.50 actually, and $3.10. It did open at 11.
Oh, can I tell you the truth? That was me. I backed it already. Okay, on to the second of the cards. You've got Just Push Play, I've got More Jewels. I just thought it was a very, very good each way bet. Again, even plays all day. Second on the card, let's check out the market. And look, again, no definitive top pick. I thought Zar Bay was a horse who was in there with a good chance at the $5. Kate Cowan could be in for a really good day at the office. Her 3 kilo claim is going to be valuable tomorrow.
A lot of horses that are in pretty decent form. Carson River, Shirley Maud. Maybe you'd look at Shirley Maud and suggest that she doesn't win enough. She puts herself in her races. I think she's placed 6 times and only won twice, but I'm happy to back her to win because her form is just rock solid.
I don't mean to be in the middle ground all day, but it is an each way day, so I'm going to go each way for Zar Bay. I just think it's a horse, home track, it really gets its chance. Here's the market for the third on the card as we start to wind into the bigger races. And
this is a good race.
Well, the old days, you would have said, no, really, South Island sprinters? Signify, won a Telegraph, finished third the other day. Prince Oz has already won a serious race this year with 100k. Darcy Mack's been really good in the South Island, and the Precious One down the bottom has always promised to be a proper horse, but so far disappointing this summer and has a wide draw. This is a good contest.
It's a very good contest. I think what we're finding out with the Precious One is something that Connections always had in the back of their mind, and that 1200 metres was her best trip. She's a speed horse that can come off a tempo and sprint hard. So I think 14 back to 12 is a positive for the Precious One. She'll run a really good race. There should be genuine speed in it map-wise, but look, Signify, obviously you can't knock what he's done. And Prince Oz gets a swing against Signify from when they last met at Wellington in the Telegraph.
Yeah, Prince Oz maybe underperformed in the Telegraph. Signify did not. He loves Trentham. Again, Kate Cowan, 3 kilo claim could be an enormous help for him, but gee, it's a good field. Who would have thought the renaissance of the Southern sprinters, which have seen them win the last 3 Telegraphs? Heading to the Dunedin Guineas, and we both think this is an awfully, awfully good bet. Not saying Weaponry doesn't deserve to be favourite, but 270 versus 750, the horse, Air Max, Jason Tan, who beat it fair and square last start after not 1, but 2 checks and gets a better draw. How is this 750?
I don't know. The material thing is possibly the track conditions, and you say significantly improved track maybe helps others compared to it, but seeing is believing, and sometimes we just deny what we see. What I saw from Air Max in the Guineas was a horse that had so much go against him, he still managed to win. And if you put the tangerine on it, then you'd be saying, well, that's just a dominating performance, and it'd be even money. He deserves to be favourite to me.
You've gone each way. I'll be honest, I'm just going straight out for the win. He's one of the few win bets I could find all day, but 750. I think he'll start 550. I think you, at home, should jump on him sooner rather than...
Another thing is the increased distance, right? Out of that race, he is a horse that you would say is as equipped as any other runner out of that race that's going to cope with the 1500 metres.
When he hit the line the other day, he flicked his ears up in the air.
Oh.
Big, long striding horse. He might be quality. He's got a little chance at the Triple Crown. On to the fifth on the card, and as we said all day, it's an even old day at the office. Riviera Rock was okay last start. Mossy Creek turns up in a race where, again, Kate Cowan's again the girl to follow, 3 kilo claim. Turns up in a race where it's probably going to be as good as the rest, but it hits the line hard over the 2,200 metres. That's going to help. But this is a case very much of the one who's in form on the day, because 2,200 metres, not much needs to go wrong, and you can hit the wall 400 from home.
Exactly. Sort of tempo is key, where horses are positioned and how each jockey is able to relax their horse. So I went each way on Mossy Creek, similar to you, in fact exactly the same as you, and she just maps to get that run, and I think that 3 kilo claim is material. It takes her from being, I think, one of the leading chances to clear favourite in the race.
What we're seeing is that Kate Cowan's going to be an awfully good chance in the Jockeys Challenge, of course. Some North Island jockeys coming down. Andrew Calder's there, Trudy Thornton are there, of course, because we are struggling for numbers in the south. Another one of the features of the day is the big one. It's the Dunedin Gold Cup, one of the oldest races in the country, and but this isn't the strongest ever rendition. She's a Toucher won the trial for this race last week at Riccarton, absolutely bolted in. That version turns up, yeah, it'll probably win. But Jason Tarn, the same horse, was beaten the start before, well and truly, at Hokitika. So I think this is a case where, again, the one who turns up on the day is going to get the job done, because there's not a lot between a lot of these. Maybe Salsafira, coming out of Trentham, is the best horse in the race. Jasmine Fawcett back from suspension. Down the line she goes, another one of those North Island riders. And look, she's probably gone down for the right horse.
Yeah, no, I think Salsafira is one of the leading chances, and I think if Jasmine Fawcett's positive, she should be able to find a position in the first 4 with some cover. Not necessarily setting the speed, but following the speed. Shakti, I thought, was a little bit of value there. She's a Toucher, a horse I think that's really come to in this time of its career, but needs to be ridden a certain way. There was a time where rolling up on the speed you thought might suit it, but to get over a trip, that first 600 is important. If it gets into a rhythm, then it'll have a very strong finish, and that's what Terry Mosley, I'm sure, will be wanting to do from that draw.
I think a Bowley's a horse who hits the line nice and hard, and that's what I want over 2,400 metres. I think it's a strong horse, and Trudy Thornton's a strong rider, so in a punishing finish, it could be the one, but I'll be honest, it's a great race to watch. I'm just not sure who's going to win it. So on to the 7th on the card, that's the Dunedin Gold Cup, of course, the 6th there. So again, very even here. I thought a lot of speed here. I thought they could really tear along early doors. I actually found one at big odds here, because I want to back a horse sitting just off the speed. And mine, believe it or not, was Touch the Sky. Good here 2 starts ago. $13 and $4. Dylan Turner's headed south for the day, but gee, she's an even old go here.
I ended up defaulting to Sentient. Doesn't have a very good draw, but if it can get across into the running line and that expected tempo is at least good and faster than that, then I think Sentient can work into the finish. But overall, this race is not a race from the card that I'm going to be attacking with much confidence.
There's a lot of speed there. They might really charge forward, so I'm thinking you just want to be in that sort of 5th to 8th spot, maybe coming over the top of them. They could go too hard for their own good. The race of the day, maybe, because the Guineas is so strong, could well be the White Robe Lodge Stakes. That is a name synonymous with this part of the world, and it's impossible to go past, Jason, the fact that Boots and All has been second to Tiaka Shark in a Copeland's Mile, and Colonel Kev has gone to Trentham last start and finished 4th in a very serious race. And that means at Weight for Age, they're incredibly well placed, because if this was a handicap, those top 4 horses would be enormously weighted over the likes of, say, for example, a Nesta or an Alfie. As it is, they're only carrying 2 kilos more.
There's really not much between Boots and All and Colonel Kev. I know there's $1.50 between them in the market, $4 and $5.50, but there isn't much. When they've met, there hasn't been much between them. It'll just be the timing of their respective jockeys, how they choose to bring their horses into the race, because you'd think that both of them will be back of midfield. There should be a genuine tempo, but I don't think you're going to be seeing either jockey wait until the last 300 unless they really roll. I think they'll be working into it, and Boots and All will be the hardest to beat.
We're both on the same horse. Surely this is a no-brainer. Don't you just back both of them? You go 3 units one, 2 units the other, you spent 5 units, you're getting a return of 11 units if you're right.
I certainly wouldn't argue with that.
It's 2.2 taking 2 of them, really.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't argue with that, because out of those first 4 in the top 4 in the market, they're the ones with the best form. The Anderton train runners, I have a lot of respect for them, but there are just question marks. Obviously, Tommy Tucker, he's a 10-year-old now, last year's winner. He's a high-quality horse, but you are sort of trusting the stable, which I think you can trust them because they're very good trainers, the Antis, of course. But 2 1200 metre runs into the 1600. Did he show enough last start over 1200? I think he did. But it's a bit of a leap of faith still.
Timaru Cup winner Bootsarall did gallop last week at Riccarton in between races too and looked very fit, so it has had a bit of a bowl around to get the mind screwed back in for tomorrow. Last on the card, and I thought about this about 4 times, I came up with Welcome. I like Tina Komanyagi on the speed. I like her as a jockey full stop, but I like it when she's drawn well. Barrier 1. I thought she needed a couple of runs early in this campaign. She's getting to the right place fitness-wise, but the bookies haven't missed her at 6.5. Again, one of the most even galloping meetings we've seen, not just at Wingatui, Jason, all season. We are getting $5 the field for the majority of the races.
And that makes it excellent to bet into on the day as well, when you pick up track patterns and you can just sort of see a little bit more as to confidence in the market for certain horses and to your own eye, seeing a horse parade, which you'll get plenty of opportunity to see tomorrow, being the #1 meeting in the country. You're going to be able to see these horses through trackside parading, to test your eye. Teddy Twinkletoes I thought was a fair each way in that race.
Yeah, best performed horse in the field. I'll go Welcome each way, just like the barrier draw. So big team on track there tomorrow at Wingatui. Hope you enjoyed. It's great to see our friends in the south having their big day in the sun. Trackside kicks off tomorrow morning with the Punters Lounge. There'll be more information and some interviews to talk about the big day going. Good luck on the punt.